So lately, all I have been doing is I've been doing shorts lately. I've just been working like crazy. Get home from work too tired. Working on the weekend. I just haven't had it in me. But I've been meaning to make another longer video. And so I was thinking about, I love making baseball videos. As I said before, baseball is my favorite sport. I'm going to talk about some of the times in no particular order when I got hurt on the baseball field. I can remember 4 distinct times that I got hurt bad enough that I can still remember them 20 years later. So, the first one I want to talk about, we were playing our rival, and this is my 10th grade year, playing our rival. We ended up playing them in the North Half Championship to see who went to state tournament, and that will come into play in a moment. But this is one time, probably, it's the only time I was knocked out on the baseball field. I went unconscious, and it was only for about 30, 45 seconds, but I actually was knocked unconscious. But, okay, so here we go. Playing ball, and there's a runner on third, and it's like the 5th or 6th inning. Now, we end up winning this game miraculously, but we were down by 2 in the 5th or 6th inning. Runner on third base. We're on first base. So infielders are at double play depth. If you know what that means, the middle infielders are at double play depth. The corners are in. And so they hit a ground ball, a bouncer over the pitcher. Gets by the pitcher. I go over towards second base. I'm going to get the ball. I dive to catch the ball. Ball hits my glove. As soon as I feel the ball hit my glove, I feel a huge pressure on my head. The guy running from first to second, I dove straight over second base to get the ball, like on top of second base. And so the guy comes in, he hits it full speed with his knee running in the temple. He hits me right there, and I just feel a lot of pressure, not so much pain, just pressure. And then I just hit the ground. And so I don't know anything. And I remember waking up. I don't know if you've ever had this experience. I remember about 30 seconds later, I opened my eyes, because I'd been laying there not moving. I opened my eyes, and I'm seeing the stands. I'm looking toward the stands. I see all those people out there. And I remember actually having to think to myself, where are you? Where am I? Where am I right now? And I said, you're at a baseball game. It was pretty quick. You're at a baseball game. That's where you are. And oh yeah, okay, all right. And so I'm getting my bearings, and I start to look up, get up on my hands, starting to push myself up with my hands, and then out of nowhere, this umpire jumps down in my face, it seems like, and says, "That's baseball! That's just baseball! No interference! You go for the ball, he coming to the base, that's just baseball! That's just baseball! That's just baseball! No interference!" And I'm thinking, okay, fine. No interference. I hear you. Calm down. Because I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. So I get up on my hands and knees now, and I look over, and the guy who had ran into my head with his knee, he is on the ground clutching his knee, yelling, not overly yelling, but clutching his knee. You can tell he's in extreme pain. And he's got people around him. And so I'm looking at him, and the reason I bring that up is because it's going to come into play later in the story. So it turns out they have to walk him off. He can't put any weight on his leg. They have to walk him off. 2 people help him off the field. He finally gets off the field, doesn't come back in the game, obviously. Turns out that guy is out for a long time because he tore some ligaments or broke. He did something to his knee that made him be out for a couple weeks. And so he does not play again. The guy who was running to second base, he does not play again until this game in the North Half, when we play the same team again. And it was very serendipitous, I guess, because here's what happened in the North Half game. We had already been through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Whoever wins this game gets to go to the state championship to face the Southern state champion. So we ended up winning that game at their place, the one where I got knocked out. We ended up winning that game in the bottom of the 8th. We had to go into extra innings, the top of the 8th, and we got a run, and then we win the game. So we ended up tying for division, but because of the tiebreakers, we were number 1, they were number 2. Anyway, so we meet in the North Half, same team, and it's 5th inning, and tie game. 5th inning, tie game. Because they had beaten, what I was going to say, they had beaten us at their place. So it's like you had best of 3. They had already beaten us 1 game at their place during the week. And so on Saturday, they came to our place. It's a doubleheader because we were the higher seed. And so it's doubleheader if necessary. If they win the first game, not necessary. So I will never forget this. This is my favorite moment in my life on the baseball field. I will never forget this moment until my dying day. 5th inning, the same guy who busted my head and busted his knee 2 weeks back or 3 weeks back, whenever it was at that game, this is his first game back. He gets to play. And so he's up there hitting. They have a guy on, it doesn't matter, but they had a guy on first. It doesn't matter. There's 2 outs. They got a guy on third. That's the one that matters. And tie game. And there's 2 outs. And so they hit a ground ball to the hole between third and short. It gets past the third baseman. I remember I go in over and I dive. And when I dive and catch this ball, I'm 2 feet into the grass when I stand up. But I dive, I catch it, and I throw it hard as I can to first base. And dude is out. Dude is out by a quarter of a step. Like his foot was almost on the bag. It was like that much above the bag when the ball hit the first baseman's glove. And all this is happening in slow motion because, for whatever reason, but I see the ball going and his foot's right there. And so he's out. Tie game. They're not ahead. And I will never forget this because we usually had like maybe a couple hundred at an important game. At a regular game, we would have maybe 75 people there. If you count the ones up on the hill, maybe 100. Anyway, this game, all the stands were packed behind home plate. Both lawn chairs all the way down both sidelines into the outfield. And there's people up on the hill behind the field. There's probably, and I don't want to exaggerate, so I'm just going to say there's probably like 500-600 people at that game. And for us, that is a whole lot of people. And as soon as I make that throw, I get the guy out by a step. Save, not the lead, but make sure they don't go ahead. And everybody in the stands, everybody on the sidelines jumps up and just starts screaming. It just goes nuts when I make that play and the guy's out. That is my favorite moment, my best moment that I ever had on a baseball field. And what's funny is, here's why I brought they come together, because had he not ran into my head that night, busted his knee, knocked me out on the field, had that not happened, because he was wearing a knee brace when he was playing against us his first game back, had that not happened, he would have been able to run at least a little bit faster, and he would have been safe. That play never would have happened. He would have been called safe, and they would have scored the run, and that would have been it. But because he had bashed my head with his knee, and the umpire had said, "Baseball!" I won't ever forget that. "That's just baseball. That's just baseball." And he's up in my face, and I'm just like, "Okay, man, that's okay. It's baseball. I know what we're playing here. We're not playing water polo. It's baseball. I got you." Anyway, had that not happened, he would have beat that throw, and he would have been safe. They would have gotten the lead, and they would have gone on, and they would have just easily won the game. And so, anyway, that's a moment I won't ever forget. We're at 8 minutes now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop, and I'm going to tell about the other couple times I got hurt in the next one. But that was my favorite moment ever that I ever had on a baseball field. When I see everybody, you can see everybody jumping up, cheering, going nuts because of the play I made. But the only reason that he was out is because 2 or 3 weeks ago, he had bashed my temple, bashed me in the head with his knee. So, it's weird how that works out.